UFOs, flying saucers, things that fly that we cannot make out. UFOs used to stand for unidentified flying objects, but the term UFO was changed to UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena. The term UFO meant, yeah, something's up there. We don't know what it is, and that's not good. UAP, the phenomena, seems like a way of hiding the idea that something that is not of this earth is up there. But it's like the goofy HR people that know something negative is happening, but they're trying to frame the pitch as this is a good thing. Wow, there really is something very unique up there. Holy shit, it's aliens, we're gonna die! Sure is a unique aerial phenomena. What? So if you've ever looked up in the sky on a clear day before, you may have noticed something strange flying around. This was, of course, before everybody started flying drones. But you may have seen dark specks moving around before in unusual and fast ways. Just saying this statement alone will have people thinking that I'm one of the tinfoil hat people. In order to accept what we're talking about today, you need to take your bias and just throw it out the window. The research team had dug deep, and here we go. Historically, aerial phenomena has been documented since 476 BC with Halley's Comet. This was the first recorded time in history that people looked up in the sky and saw something that was unexplainable. Over time, these occurrences had continued to pile up all over the world. As the world had progressed and switched from BC to AD, artists and writers had began to emerge to incorporate phenomena in their work. I'm not talking about the goofy experimental artist, I'm talking about real artists who expressed realism in its earliest forms. These were the artists that painted a scene for us to give us clues as to what humanity, lifestyle, religion, and climate was like. One of the earliest forms of art that depicted UFOs was in 1561. This is a scene that was woodcut into a broadsheet to depict the idea of unknown things flying in the air. Maybe one of the most famous pieces of art was a Renaissance-era painting of the Nativity of Jesus. As the world had to evolve in ways of art and technology, we run into newspapers playing a role. In 1878, a newspaper in Texas ran a story about a farmer that claimed he saw a UFO. He described it as a large, dark, circular object resembling a balloon flying at wonderful speed. He said it appeared to be about the size of a saucer, and that is where the term flying saucer first derived from. Newspapers all over the US had also included artwork to help depict what was being seen. As we get into World War I and II, the world is going into fight or flight mode with different countries. Countries start using big rockets and bombs and other forms of artillery. Aircraft usage goes up, as does the speed of those crafts. Being able to fly at such fast speeds allowed for pilots to see and report over 2,000 occurrences, seeing unidentified objects across the world. In 1947, UFOs became very mainstream and gained popularity from a sighting in the Pacific Northwest. Flying saucer clubs were popping up across the US where people could congregate and discuss the ideas of what these aerial objects could truly be. This is around the same time when the US government stepped in and started classifying, declassifying, and seizing unknown objects that were in this UFO category. Project Blue Book had cataloged over 12,000 UFO sightings from the US Air Force. 12,000. As we jump into the 1960s to now, this is where modern media like radio, TV, and movies played a large role. News stories of abduction accounts, UFOologists appear for news interviews, and of course sci-fi TV shows and movies. There were many sci-fi films that came out in the 70s and 80s and were fueled from this normalcy of UFOs in the news and everyday conversation. It was considered normal to discuss whether or not UFOs were real. In the 1990s, we see a now popular sub-theme emerge: government conspiracy. Government conspiracy is the idea that higher powers in the government are reserving and hiding information about specific topics. You would be considered crazy for having your own narrative that explains how these things can work. And now this all brings us to where we're at today. In recent years, there have been Pentagon UFO videos that have been released, where the conspiracy versus reality talk continues, and over time, more and more people that have worked in the government continue to share declassified pieces and confirm that there is more out there than what the government truly tells the public. Now, I want to direct your attention to a movie that I think served a great purpose, and I'm talking about Jordan Peele's 2022 release, Nope. The entire movie builds up the idea of finally seeing a UFO or aliens, and the movie intentionally pulls on you to want to see the paranormal and extraterrestrial. Cameras are a major theme in the movie where everyone is trying to capture photo and video to have evidence, but even then, people try to debunk any evidence that was set forward. Now, if you apply that to everything that we just talked about, all of what has been discussed has had someone trying to debunk it. No matter what kind of evidence comes forward, people naturally want to tear down any evidence of something known and slap controversy on it. Kind of like Bigfoot. We used to say, I'll believe it when I see it. But now we have shifted our mindsets of never wanting to be wrong and letting bias lead the way. Now, I'm not telling you that UFOs are real or not. But I am saying that it's interesting that what was recorded in BC and early AD are matching what is happening today with limited video and photo release. And in between all that time, we have accumulated many personal accounts that all lead to the idea of something not man-made flying up there in the sky.